Star Wars Battlefront 2 has got EA in a lot of trouble, hasn't it, Gareth Evans?
It seems so, and they're doing their best to get out of this trouble right now.
Yeah, very quickly as well. Annoyingly quickly. We're actually recording this quite early in the morning, pre-coffee. We've actually had to sack off an entire video as well on the subject. You know, they've reacted very quickly to frankly, the shitstorm that they've kicked up over the last week or so. They've got rid of the loot boxes or the microtransactions for now, it seems.
Yeah, that is the bottom line. Is they've turned off microtransactions in Battlefront 2 conveniently in time for launch day, just so that they don't get they still haven't got the bad headlines today, I guess. And I think that is the key point here. I mean, yesterday was all about Battlefront 2 being investigated for gambling by the Belgium Gambling Commission, and then the Dutch Gambling Commission weighed in towards the end of the day saying, oh, they're going to be investigating too. So they needed to change that headline, Mike. They needed to it's launch day today, right? They needed to change that headline. They wanted people talking positively about them, and this is exactly what they've done. This is what they've achieved here by saying that they're turning them off, but it's temporarily, and that's the key word here. It's temporarily, because they have every intention of turning them back on at some point. It's currently not pay to win. There's currently no gambling in the game,
and suddenly it looks a lot more appealing to me. Like, I wouldn't have thought of picking it up before now, but if it would stay like this, I would buy the game. I would partake in it. You know, that's not a protest thing. Like I've said before, this is just, I'm not interested in loot boxes and microtransactions, and especially when they're thrust right in my face like they are in Battlefront. So let's kind of summarize this quickly then. So the loot boxes with that cost real world money, they were in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they kind of disappeared in the wee hours of Friday morning here in the UK anyway. So they disappeared from the Origin store, the PlayStation store, Microsoft stores. You just couldn't buy them. You couldn't buy the currency to get these loot boxes. They were just gone. Shortly after that, there was a statement from EA from DICE boss Oscar Gabrielson, which is very long. I'm not going to read all of it. It opens with that classic, like Cartman's mum kind of tone, like, thank you to our very passionate fans. We're thank you, very grateful for all the feedback that we've had. I'm sure you are. But the important part is this, quote, "We hear you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, and all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date, only after we've made changes to the game. We'll share more details as we work through this." So this is it. Like you said, they've spelled out loud and clear here that it's not just kind of hinting that they might come back. They're saying they will come back at some point, and they seem pretty adamant about this.
The hope is there that they change it so much that I mean, how come they change it? The key words here are like listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. The word that they're missing there, Mike, is removing. Okay, they're not removing loot boxes. They're not removing microtransactions. They're not removing the pay to win.
They're doing everything else, but they're not
tweaking it. They're adjusting it. They're balancing it, and they're tuning it. And it's not enough. And this is the problem. It says all progression will be earned through gameplay and serviced through loot boxes. That's they're missing out there. That loot boxes are still in the game, but you can't buy them currently because it's launch day. They don't want any negative press on launch day, do they, Mike? They just want everyone singing their praises, and this is their tactic, right? This is the way that EA do things. Ever since the beta first launched, they had this is the third controversy since it happened. So the first outrage was the pay to win. It's like everyone, when they first played it and the beta was like, this is pay to win, this is bullshit. Yeah,
they nerfed the star cards, right? A little bit.
So what they did in response to that, within 24 hours, it was a very quick backtrack. They put this barrier in place where you can't get the epic cards to begin with. They scaled it back a little bit, but essentially it's still pay to win. All they did was change the media coverage, change the headlines on the articles being written, and it worked for them. Everyone was saying, "Oh, I'm buying this game again now." The second bit of outrage, which they changed the headlines for again, and this is where their manipulation comes in, right? This is the way that they're manipulating the media in order to get their desired result. The second one was the grinding outrage. 640 hours to unlock Darth Vader, right? And the most downvoted comment in Reddit history. All the bad press about that, oh, this is the grindiest game ever. And obviously, in reply to that, what they've done is they've reduced the amount of grind, essentially, and then everybody's outrage was outdated, and that's the key term here. What they're doing is they're outdating the outrage. Everybody has to write new articles,
record new videos on Friday morning, stuff like that.
That was the second strike. That was this second bit of PR sidestepping, right? And this is the third one. The headlines yesterday was Gambling Commission's looking into this game. game because it could be gambling in Belgium and also Holland as well. And what could they do here? The only thing that they can do is turn them off for launch day, and that way all the outrage, everyone's investigating about the gambling, all the pay to win, all those criticisms are now null. There is zero investigation that can go on now because the game doesn't currently have them in. And this is a well-known PR tactic, in fact, outdating the outrage, changing the narrative in the media headlines. This is exactly what they've done. They're not doing it because they've heard us loud and clear. They're not doing it because they want to do it for any other reason other than to change the media narrative.
Well, there's this little thing floating around online as well that VentureBeat, according to sources that have spoken to VentureBeat, Disney boss Bob Iger phoned EA boss Andrew Wilson shortly before this big U-turn happened to discuss Star Wars Battlefront 2. Wow. That camp, if that's true, obviously, there's huge connotations there, right? They've had a rap on the knuckles from Disney, who obviously owns Star Wars, and they're very protective of all of their brands, but obviously Star Wars in particular as well, with another movie coming out at the end of this year. They want everyone to be nice and excited for Star Wars and not thinking anything bad about it. EA have kind of dragged the name through the mud a little bit with their antics with this and trying to maximise the money. They've had a negative effect on the Star Wars brand. It's got people talking negatively about Star Wars to the extent that mainstream media outlets like the BBC and all the kind of main networks in America and stuff have been reporting on it as news. So Disney isn't happy. So then now the loot boxes have been removed after allegedly Bob Iger from Disney has had a chat with Andrew Wilson from EA, boss to boss, CEO to CEO, having a little chat, and suddenly we've had this massive U-turn. If you want to just play Star Wars Battlefront 2 and enjoy it, get in there now before they get back in there. I guess that's what they're hoping that the mentality will be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It is a victory of sorts, but it's only a battle. We haven't won the war here, right? Because they do say temporarily, and at any point they can turn it back on. And my suspicion is that once this news all blows over, that they'll just turn it back on. Maybe if it's a week, if it's 2 weeks, if once the investigation is closed in Belgium and Holland, the Netherlands. Sorry,
right. So it's like saying England.
I've been there and I've heard all the concerns. Anyway, once all that's blown over, essentially they will turn them back on. Whether it's a week or 2 weeks, I people saying, oh, it'll be Christmas, or whatever. But essentially, you can play the game now, and it's great for players that you can play the game without the microtransactions in there. Loot boxes are still there. It's not pay to win now. People won't get the advantage, but it is temporary, and that's the word that kind of undermines everything and all the changes that they've made, is that it's temporary, and at any point they can just flick the switch and start ripping people off, and the gambling's back in there, the pay to win is back in there, and that's I don't know, it feels like a hollow victory for me, and it's like they're trying to deflect the eye of Sauron, right, and until someone else is getting the focus of the negative media attention, but we can't give up on it. We can't turn our gaze away for too long, because they will continue doing bad shit so long as we're not looking at them. So we just have to stay vigilant.
Well, I fully hope what happens with the Belgian and Dutch investigations is that they can carry out some kind of investigation based on what was in the game or what was going to be in the game, and decide that way whether or not it would have been, if that model, because you can assess the model and the formula and any kind of patent or whatever EA has got on it, and decide is that all right? Are they okay to do this? Is this ethical, or is this even legally illegal? Because is it gambling or not? I hope they can still continue to do the investigation and then put some kind of judgment in place, to prevent other games in future doing it.
What they should do is just look at Need for Speed Payback. That was a game that was released a week earlier, and it has the same sort of aggressive microtransaction loot box system in it. But nobody's talking about that, so they've not removed these loot boxes from Need for Speed Payback, but they're still there. And some say that it's even worse.
It's a very similar system at the very least, isn't it? It's a similar kind of randomised progression system where you're unlocking stuff for cars, unlocking cars even from these star card-like things that you can get in Need for Speed. So it is a very similar system. And this is what they do. This is what Ubisoft and EA and everyone, all these AAA companies do. If a model works in one game, they'll just put it in all their games. And Ubisoft were even designing all their games around the model that they had for flipping Assassin's Creed 2 or whatever. So they'll just kind of spread it to everything if it works in one place. So, it's got you concerned for all EA games in future, how they're going to handle it from now on. Because how the f*** do you get Star Wars Battlefront this wrong? I've got no idea. It's a Star Wars game, so you've already got an immediate massive audience that are ready to buy it. It's a Star Wars game that is a multiplayer shooter that looks like Battlefield. How the f*** do you cock that up? I just can't understand how they've got themselves into this situation so quickly, so severely as well. It's a complete own goal.
One of the reasons why they've gone so aggressive on this is because it's almost an easy win for them with this game. It's like it's almost like they knew it was going to be successful anyway. All they got to do is like balance the criticisms from last time. There wasn't enough game there, so they've done that. They've tripled the game size, but they thought it was going to be too easy. They thought it was a walk in the park. They could be as aggressive and as nefarious as they want to be with this game, and it's backfired.
Well, even in that EA video that we did yesterday, we quoted an analyst who said, Wall Street isn't really worried about review scores because it's a Star Wars game. And that's true. That's the corporate mentality as well. They can take a big hit when it comes to gamer backlash and stuff, because they know that mainstream, it'll still sell really, really well, and they'll be able to double down on it with the microtransactions and make tons of money in the future as well. So they're not that bothered, clearly, and they're willing to take the risk. But this has obviously proved too much, and Disney obviously feel, if it's true that Bob Iger spoke to Andrew Wilson, it's amazing. First of all, I love the idea of a fucking CEO getting a telling off from his boss, but it shows the extent of how powerful the internet is and how powerful Reddit is and stuff like that. That Reddit comment has been a domino in a series of events that have really hurt EA in general.
It's easy to reflect on this and think, yes, this is a win for the gamers. This is power to the people. This is what we've been trying to get. Look, people always criticise. There's no point even complaining because they never change anything. Well, in this case, EA have, and whatever their justification or the reasons for doing it, I'm very cynical about it, obviously. But this is player power at work. This is like people getting together and showing their distaste for something and getting real life changes done. This is what they've done, and for a lot of people, it's easy to pat themselves on the back. But for me, I don't know. It's easy to get complacent and start like, oh yeah, it's giving yourself a bit of a clap. It's like, well, there's still work to be done.
I'm just annoyed that we've had to have the conversation at all. I just wanted the fucking Star Wars game. I don't want to be worried about all this.
And you had to film a video early on Friday morning, whereas we already had a video planned, and they've completely pulled the rug from under us. Those bastards.
I reckon just leave it there now. I need some caffeine, man. So that's what's happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Do with that what you will, I guess. See you next time.